Welcome to first generation of space. Waiting on signal locations, pre-flights coming in, line settings, high position locations. Let's start off with the Alpha Bravo, and then we'll go into all lines, high interference of sectors, vectors, and quads. Basically, this is all setup location to your systems interaction, especially for the calculations to the team, because the team has to really understand how this all works now, because your tractor's communication settings, all levels, your center communication to your mind, your datation surface, is on a high line calculations to its setting, which means the space lines anomalies have now switched the center lines of operation. So it's incredible what we just finished doing. I mean, this is just the beginning. I mean, it's really coming back to who we are. More levels of the mind datation of surface puts the psychological line conditions back in sequence. Everything comes back in line settings, like not just the pieces and puzzles, but you understand why you're putting the pieces and puzzles back together. That's what this is, putting the pieces and puzzles back together. It's not the why, it's the how. And the how becomes more lines of communications. The mind adapts its system. It changes the triangulation reset programs, the high set location of your settings, the coloration panels, the 24 line settings, the dimensional line lock lines, the stream locations, the clock line calculation settings, your direct sig locations, all levels of operation. It's so powerful when you come into that setting. So in that waiting line rotations, make sure that you guys do your pre-flights, especially for the new viewers that are coming in, really, if you're not understanding what's going on. Also, please, in that line communications, wait after class. You're welcome to get in locations. Today we have Zoom meeting, which is the conference rooms, which basically we talk about everything that goes on. You know, we talk about this, we talk about that. Questions need to be answered, right? That's why there is Q&A. Going to school gives you guidance, gets you into more settings to your system when you go through navigations of the mind. You understand your flights, understand where you're traveling. Let me say it again. Knowing where you're traveling in the mind is the most important. Because think of your whole line of communication. Think of yourself as a videograph screen. Okay? Think that you're here and you want to get to here. Right? So it's a car that's just going from here to here and it's directing to here. Okay, it's like back in the 80s line streamlines, past reference of the Purley's map, where you have a location line setting and direct signal, right? Everything is maps of equation, and that's what everybody has to wake up to, this location system. Track to its communication setting and directions, all right? So you get a box line center, inline rotation to a surface, okay? So inline communication system, you got road graphs, center lines, high center interference, locations here, locations here, locations here, locations here, travel settings, indirect location system. Now, Henda would know mostly that because he spends 80 time in his car driving set locations. X marks the spot. Okay, from here to here. Your whole life is a map. Now, once you understand the center line, it opens up all levels of stream locations. Once you understand that, then you understand the set line communication opens up panels. Once you understand that, you understand the ground lines. Ground lines becomes nothing but a reference of past and replication of center. Okay? So once you understand the stream lines, the location of 3 lines of perimeters, you go into higher line position of track communications. Okay, higher levels of track communication. See, it's a lot more fun, right? Then you go into 4, and then you go into 5. Okay? So it's all about understanding how to really set these things up in set location travel lines. Center line operation is a 3-line waving pattern of a sector over pi, directing line communication sitting in this position location to a system in track location. Okay? So once you get into that line, it comes in all settings to the sun and to the moon in operation surface location. Okay, there's the pyramid, right? So everything is coordinated. Your astral projection is now on the astral plane lines, right? So you have to really understand not just how it works, but understand how to travel through this location or center lines in all calculation, right? So getting that position locations, this opens all signals. Now, because you guys are in a hard line center location of your system, we got a track lines and one line division. 5 lines of centers, 5 lines of rotation, 5 lines of surface and track communication, right? 5 channels and 2 line streams, 5 channels and 3 line streams, 5 channels and 4 line stream locations. Hola, ¿cómo estás? So you guys are now working no longer with 12 lines. You're working 24 signature streamlines instead of different track lines and direction. Now, this puts lines of graphs in line calculation setting to your system through hologram. Okay, the center line rotation surface, okay, the interdimensional and the calculation setting, the immortal guys, are now dealing with 24,000 line settings, okay, in fragmentation streams. This is where you come into quasar line stream location as settings and all calculation. Okay, so you have to understand the position of 5, position of center, and position locations on set location. This opens up plateau and line calculation setting to your diamond core line stream. Direct line communication setting, all levels, brings you and set position your travel lines into home and set location your system and track location. Okay, so we all understand once you get into line communication, when we started with defaults, remember I told you guys in line position locations, you have your quiz coming up. Well, you have the weekend now, right? So basically the quiz is based on what you already know, coming back in your memory. It's a lot more easy now to process, but really understand how to use it through the alphabetical system, how to use the photonic connection high center interference, inline calculation setting, inner and out line calculation setting directions, inputs, outputs, defaults, copy, paste, line calculation to the value, directing line, position location in your system, and all track locations, right? So really understand how to see yourself more levels of your CPU units and set locations, all right? Plus in positions to your keyboards, muscle memory to the track locations, okay? Okay, so we go through bracket line rotation and serial line, 2 lines, 0 lines of 3 lines of 4, 5 lines of 6, and 3 lines set location of center. Now it comes in a diamond core line calculation to set location, right? Everything is a graph line calculation, right? It's a map sequence. So understanding the cloud lines is set location of center and direct signal. 1 cloud line center line rotation, center position attractions. 2 lines of clouds, right? Direction time setting. There's a 3rd line rotation surface. So the schematics in line calculation line is already set up. So when you look outside, your clouds are shifting anomalies. The shifting anomalies in different direct locations. Now, once you understand how to really get into your cloud settings, right? Base recognition time sequence, puts all levels of block centers. 1 point system, another point system location of direction. Okay? So, and this is you on standby, looking at the clouds in position locations of all lines of communication to all point systems, all direct locations, and all measure in line calculations to its setting. Okay? So 3 clouds, lines, interface on high calculation setting, graph locations into 24 now. You're no longer in 12, you're in 24. 24,000 and position of the galactic 101s or line calculation setting to stream locations and setting and direction. So in that direct location setting, you guys are in 24 lines, all right? You were in 12, now you're in 24. Now the DNA tracks the set location setting that puts all calculations in your sky grids. Sky grid line left, sky grid line right, process stream, overcross lines, triangulation, reset, position programs. It's very complicated stuff, but you have to really understand how this sets location in your system and side position. How to use your thought pattern is all direct signal. Now we come into all position your track lines of communications, right? Because now we're in the 24. 24 Stargate equals lines clocking, 24 locations equal lines division, 24 cycles equal lines ground level. Okay, so 24, 48 in line calculation setting. 48 lines on calculation line interference, 48, 58, 68. Calculation lines, equal lines of 2. Okay, 48, 58, 58 line streams. Subset of 2 is 60. Equals lines of clock location. Okay, now the percentage line calculation lines of 0 changes direct signals. 2 panels, operation stream locations into one set location, right? 24 line signature crosses line setting, but has a circle line rotation surface in direction. And the 24 line set location at ground levels surfaces its line set location of the new position location of its astral planes in direction. Okay? Because you're all with 24 now, you're no longer with 12, so there's no 12. That's gone. All right. That was the Earth plane line setting in a 12 clock line. You're in a 24 clock line at locations. 48 lines, that's one line into square root, triangulations of 4 settings into 8 lines, infinity 8 in line position location of space and time. Direct line correlation setting in one line into pi in redirect location. Now, setting position of track lines puts 58 line settings into levels of 2 through pi, puts position of 60 line seconds per line, per square, per mile, okay, in set locations, all right? So that's done by equation. Okay, so we'll wait on that signal because we come in Monday line string. Now, your direct signal comes in all center line rotations, 1 provision, 2 sectors and correlation, okay? Directing lines of 2 panels in offline rotation. Putting positions off grid, line calculation setting, swirls line stream location of setting and directions. Center location to a system. Tracks its calculation of flux capacitor, changes direct signal line communication of 2 line set locations. So that's 1 lines of 2, 2 lines of 3. Okay. 3 lines of 6 in the center line, in position location or center. Indirect signal to its operation surface and triangulation high calculation setting at 24 clocking. The 24 clock line sets line rotation center. That rotates the center location of 6 in calculations over center line in position locations into 9 in center line calculation setting in process line interference of yin and yang. Yin and yang comes in line rotation to center position of operation. The operation line calculation setting, 6 position locations over here, 6 crosses over equals lines of 12. 12 lines up and line connection high center. There it is, 24. Okay, this is all set up. Okay, so the astroturf is now the astroplanes, but it's standing on point view of a crevice line setting and direct signal. So it's on 2 panels in 1 umbrella, 1 core, 1 redirection, and 1 setting and location system. The energetic wave line, graphs line set location setting, and high line rotation interference puts everything in spacing lines in dimensional sails in set locations. Okay? Waiting on signal that line communications come in higher position of travels. Form this equation. So the mind adaptation surface and spacing line is an astro. Okay, equal line connections. Communication into 2 equals lines of pi in direct location system and 3 panels in line stream. Okay, so the astro lines, its operation surface, lines of 6, calculations of 9, and center line rotation. Okay, now 12 sets lines in set location of ground line operation surface. This resurface its line calculation of triangulation reset, splits the anomaly in line calculation setting in set locations, splits the triangle. Okay, splits the triangle in half. And 1 line center rotation. Okay, now that redirect signal location setting brings the triangulation resurface in line position locations in all calculations, 2 panels into 24 line setting. You guys have to get used to 24 signature of colors now in direct signal, creating line communications to, you guessed it, a rainbow set location. Okay. So in the divergence of alliance of allegiance, we open up ground lines in a surface location to a setting to an open window. Panel communications to a set location to a setting directions. That my equation. Okay? Knowing how to set these things up, guys, is now a perimeter. Rotation surface is now in 69. You have to get used to that now. So the 69 platitudes lines of 2 panels line streamlines into the center line rotations. Surface of correlation settings and direct lines of 0, 0, 0 calculation puts 3 line settings. 0 crosses over 0, 0, 0. Position of 4 and line calculating equal lines of 3 lines of zeros and 3 top locations puts in 7 lines, 7 directions, 7 positions, 7 activations, and 7 portals in direct location. That's my equation. Okay. So what's happening, guys, is that we're working with the 24 clock line. Spacing line has to really direct signal locations because the triangulation is now in a split center. It's a triangulation reline. It's a deposit valve. That deposit valve center lines its correlation setting, putting everybody where they're supposed to be into set location of its roots. The astral project location setting is going to evaporate in line position location to a low division. The center position of travel lines, the astral correlation setting of astral projections, is now in 6, 9, and 12. Direct location system to your clock line, change lines, and stream location system is at 24. Measure. That scales lines its division location of each chakra. Each chakra is a representation of space recognition that understands its time sequence. Now, the spacing line comes in a correlation setting to the astral planes, which puts them in a 24-line setting in two-dimensional stargates. Opens all communications to the rainbow division. Okay? Okay. Check your plea frights, set lines, high center interference, and travel calculation setting. Alpha Bravo, Foxtrot, because you're the one. All right. It's Lori. How's it going? Nikki, how's it going? Heather, Gypsy, Tina, Geneva, Danielle, Battle, Joshua, Guardian, all of the Trinity, and Prismar. So, and Johnny. So I know exactly what we're coming into, guys, is the calculation setting. Now, indirect state locations were in the first generation locations. Now, that's the first string. That's going to travel out, okay? Because it's a very high formula. You don't need that equation yet. I'm just telling you exactly how to set these things up and how it's already done. So General is giving you everything back, which you already know, through formula. Box, line, rotation center, and two position location system. Defaults and lines of two channels, two atom line center, interference, and triangulation. Okay? Puts position locations into 4 settings. Okay, so that's 1, 2. 1 equals 2 equals lines of 4. Sets position attractions, right? So you got 2-line division, and we got a router router, line calculation, triangulation, reset position of programs. Calculates high center, line rotations, always working with the triangulation line position locations. Okay, so in that direct locations, this is where Chris comes in, which he was talking about. What was above is now below, but what's below is above now. Okay, so we're center correlation setting, we're redirecting signals, okay, from below and going from above in set location settings. Putting line communications into 4 lines of new bodies of water and 3 lines of 7 into position locations of 2, generation stream location of 2 lines, first generation streamline indirect signal, separates the cord high division of travel line direct signal location to the setting. So in all that communication interference, you're not working with 12 planets, you're going with 24-line stream. Okay, 24 on the clock line. 1 docile, 1 calculation, 1 stream locations. That's 24-line signature stream location of solar systems in 1 panel. Direct and correlation setting a gravitational pull lines in direct signal. Opens all levels of new Merkaba, new tesseract, new tetrahedron, and positions. All right. Going from the upline channel to upline signal into soul planes and line rotations to its position of 24-line stream in set location. Okay. Done by equation. That's going to go out through equation line setting. Formulas are going to get more complicated now because you have to really understand how this all works now because you're working with a 24 clock line. Direct line calculation setting in position of 24 signature stream location of rainbows. Directing line, because you guys were working with position of 12 settings in this location. Center. Sun comes in, rotates the surface. Now it realigns its calculations and a diversion and line calculation setting and direct signal to its operational line set location of setting and rotation. Okay, very complicated stuff. Now we set up calculation lines. Okay, it's a correlation set of vortex wormhole. Directing lines of signals in line position of 2 panels and stream locations. Okay, 3 division lines, splits the trifactor, a calculation line center, and 3-line rotation. Now that sets line correlation setting directing the position of travel calculation to 3-line signatures. Okay, it gets complicated, guys. 3-line signature stream locations and directions, right? 1, 2, and 3. Okay. Directing lines of panels, positions of pi, and correlation setting. There's the intelligence. See? Intelligence. Boom. All right. So we bring in the sun and another trifactor, line division rotation to surface location of the system. Okay, see how powerful that is? Directing lines of panels, 24-line streamline is a 24 clock line, high center interference, clock line changes, clock line division, clock line center, clock line operation. Okay, all 24 now. So that's what we're doing, is we're reclocking your systems back where it's supposed to be, because it's never been a 12-line signature. You guys have been living the second string. We're in the first generation of 24 clocking, okay, instead of system travel. Okay, so that's done through equation. Taking that out, line setting. One signature panel, 2-line division, 3 lines, crosses, line stream location, high center interference into timestamp, block line rotation center. Direct lines of correlating setting again in 3 panels of operation. So we got 2 box centers, okay, 3 in measure, okay, and we got 4 in cycle. All right, so we generation lines, XT1000 comes in, scans position locations, box line center rotation, brings position location line setting and all levels of new clock rotation of crop circles. Crop circle line communications, Mother Earth, roots, new travel line rotation center, astral projections, and location system. Travel lines have 24 signature line calculation of roots, and a line center interference of Mother Earth and line calculation setting the astral planes. Okay, done by equation. Very powerful, right? Setting these things up is really understand how to set location of your settings, right? New bodies of water, new track location setting, new chakra interference. So each chakra is an NL24 stream, okay? Get in that correlation setting. For the immortals, it's 24,000 streams of colors. You have to really recognize the phase direction of dimension line stream location of setting into its operation. Box through center, triangulation, high calculation setting, TV box lines of security and position location of programs. Direct correlation setting lines, Fibonacci line swirl, portal communication setting direct signals to operation surface and line position location of the system. That's my equation. So that's going to travel out, line signature patterns, 1 triangulation reset, 3 triangulation rotators, line calculations in 1 circle, 2 circle, 3 circle, 4 circle line setting. Direct correlation high interference, triangulation line calculation setting, direct signal locations at all levels, 0 operation to 1 line signature, position location of 2, and position location of 4. Crosses over lines that correlate high interference of 3. Okay? Setting track location setting and direct signal location 2 is position of travels and direct signal position of operation. So once you understand the structure line, design line, the clouds come in. We got a 0 line ground, we got a 0 line center, and a 0 surface locations of the left and right hemisphere. Center rotation surface and high calculation setting to a magnetic high wave formation line stream, indirect signal location of center of operation. You guys see the intelligence? Okay, so directing panels, XT1000 comes in line signal, the top location. Scan center, okay, opens all signals of panels in a triangulation reset, okay. Center lines of correlation setting to the opposite line calculation, another XT1000. Direct locations, and again, scans position locations, crop circles, line division. Okay, crop circles, line division, crosses line string, right? Line calculation setting, balance position of travel lines in 6, 9, and 12 line rotation surface and clock location. Look how powerful that is. Boom. All right, provision lines and high center position of travel. Okay, done by equation. So that's going to wait on signal because Monday we'll get an open signal panels. Once the panel communication opens up, it opens up to 24 stargates. Now, the 24 stargates waits on signal. Now, this is where we come into the rainbow stream. Directing correlation settings are 1, 2, 3. Platform communications, all right? Crossing lines, 1, 2, 3. Ground line rotation. Directing lines at correlation setting, open up holographic line settings, indirect signal. So we go into this line communication to magnetic highway, line stream, and line calculation, data, and line rotation. Now that center lines is correlation setting. What is this in track lines and position all levels? Light coming in high center interference. What is it coming into location of high position of travel lines? Coming in light force communication, energized line interference into cloud line rotation surface, into a tree magnetic force line and set location of setting direction. There's the tree of life. Okay, that way equation. Center position locations, mother's on a new route, right? But it's on a temporary line setting location, all right? Now in that direct locations, we open up the panels to position of track lines and line interference of center. Crosses lines at 3 set location of setting in track location, okay? Now the platted line opens up the signals. They opens up the signal line communications into its dimensional line realm. This opens up line calculation setting and more levels of security, perimeter, rotation, surface, triangulation, high calculation at 24 o'clock location. Done by equation. Okay, it's all set up. That's going to be on line settings out of equation. Box line, line rotation, rectangle. 2 rectangles, 1 box line. 2 position locations, 3 line centers, 4 line rotation, 4 up. Calculation, 3 lines of center. Calculation setting, put 7 line rotations, 7 zeros on box location. Equal line calculation, 3 line center line interference in 2 positions. Pyramid activation, string locations and setting. Direct correlation setting, ground lines in 2 position location of 1 line in triangulation high center, cross the stream location x3000 comes in, scans line center line interference, crop circle location setting, direct signal to crop line rotation of 24 line positions. Done. Center line communications, that's also going to be out of the equation because the formula is changing track lines. 2 bracket interference, 1 hanger line rotation in line calculation setting, direct system. Change the communication triangulation reset. This program's location system of 1 line rotation, center calculation setting. Okay, triangulations of pi. Direct line calculation setting, high interference. Triangulations of portals. Position of center line. All calculations, downshift line program. I line centers and 3 line rotation surface. Triangulations of 4 and 5 line calculations. 5 convergence of a pi line rotation setting and calculations of 24 signature stream locations centers in operation. Okay, directing communication, sun comes in. Now the sun lines is center line rotation surface and an upline rotation setting locations. Okay, waiting on position of travel lines. Opens up panels, line rotation surface in a higher calculation setting and directions. Set position. Center correlation setting sets pi indicated, line interference of 24, 48, 72, and 144 stands on point view instead of location of center line. Splits anomalies in 2 track locations, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 sets lines of center of operation. Done by equation. Okay, that's also going to be traveled out. Fast recognition of timelines opens all levels. Now, in that correlation setting, we come into a 13 graph line stream. That's equal lines correlation setting your higher self, direct locations, 24 clocking. Merge line rotations, ground lines, operation, the astroturf, set location routes, direct and panel communications in the space line stream location directions in alpha line rotation of Bravo. Direct calculation setting. Now 4 line tracks, 3 line provision, 6 line centers, calculation of 9, in position of 12, in the new triangulation reset position of programs, and 4 generation location of your pyramid set location of streamline. Direct calculation line, center line operation, directing lines of panels into 1, into 2, into 3, into 4, and into 5 in line communications of its dimensional sail is set up through location. Done by equation. Center ops, triangulation resets of programs, directing high calculation center to point systems, 2 point lines of 3, 1, 4, and 3. 4 centers in line calculation. You always have to put 4 and 3 in center. Equal lines of correlation setting and direct signal to dome. Direct signals bound crosses line calculations cross lines, directing panels of communication across system. Directing calculation line setting and crop circle line rotation interference, and so location 196 in travel calculation. All right. Directing lines of panels, crosses line calculations, 3 lines, and high center interference, all position. Locations of 4 and position of 5. Okay, 5 lines of 6 and position location of 7, and 1 lines of 8. It opens all 8 lines on pi and represent time sequence. Position locations, ground lines, travel lines, operation surface, all levels, and rotation calculation. Okay, now the 24 line center is in a clock line rotation of center line. This puts position location near centers of seconds, minutes, and hours in track location system and travel. Directing line calculation setting opens up all lines of rotations in position locations and how it surfaces in all levels and all direct signal and all panels of all communication setting, indirect location system of center communication setting, in line communications, and all levels of waving line rotation, in line calculation setting, and all direct location of center and set locations. Boom, done by equation. Okay, so just security panels, rotation line center interference at a 45-degree angle in set position. Okay, so this opens up panel communication, your settings of travel settings, guys. Gets more easier to understand how to go through a 24 graph string location setting. 24,000 measured lines, clocks the system location of seconds, minutes, and hours. But the provision location of a high calculation setting sets position of traction in set locations. All right, so in that line interference, That's going to disappear. Center line communications comes into 2 lines of highest interference and 4 set location of travel settings. Now this triangulation reset position location setting puts position of 6, 9, and 12. So the 6 goes over here, 6 goes over here, 12 equals lines of 6, 12 lines over here, 12 equals 6, calculation line interference, 12 lines center and high interference, takes position of past, present, and future line communication. 12 equals lines of 12, XT1001 signature, line center and high interference location, puts in a 24 measure, and a correlation line interference above clock location. Okay, that my equation. So in that position of track lines, it's got to disappear because you guys are not ready in that setting. Clock lines are 24. Okay, center line interference. Waiting on signal of 48, 72, and a 144. Calculation of crystal grid. Now that's 144 parameters over pi in line signature stream locations in your settings and pi direction of time sequence of calculation. Now in that direct line center, it's a 24 line crop circle, sets line rotation surface and triangulation. Okay, that surface is up, crosses line setting in all levels of operation. How it sets position location of tone settings, really understand how to use it in all ways and forms, directing signals, directing panels, directing operation set location to center. Puts position of track lines in all communication through system and travel. Travel records of time sequence, puts all levels of panels in operation surface and triangulation. Setting correlation settings and directions, puts everything in traction. Now once you get into traction center, this opens all levels of U and program setting. Level of line centers and 1 signature panel. 2 signature streams, 3 lines of setting, 4 above and line equal locations of 3 line system. Okay, 7 in center line rotation, triangulation reset. So that's position of 6. So the 9 goes here and the 12 goes in the center, and 12 goes over here, 12 goes over here, and this location of 12 goes over here, and 12 goes over here in line communication. Okay, it gets complicated. Then we go into a 48 window, and we go into center line communication of 72 computer frame, direct line calculation setting, inline communications going from down and up in line signal to 7 new line streams in set location center and operation. Okay, that's my equation. Okay, so travel line signals and high position location all levels. This formulates high position of travel lines, guys. Really understand how it's service location of your systems and travel calculations. Point systems and 2-point line centers of 0 line, 1 line, 1 line, 1 line, 1 line, and 1 line. It's set locations, all right? Now, you have to really understand how to set position locations. So 1 equals lines of 24. Okay, 24 over here, 24 over here, 24 over here, and 24 over here in line communication. Okay, setting clock lines of highest interference, astro, 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 and astro. Okay, signature stream locations of 2 lines of atoms, 3 lines of 4, 4 lines of 5, 5 lines of 6, and center line communication, a new ground line operation surface. Okay, now try to understand what's going on, right? So it's a 24 clocking ground line, but see, the thing is, comes into position location to its rainbow stream location. Okay, putting you guys back into 24 lines of all rainbow stream lines of first generation stream location of center calculation setting and all direct location system into panels of operation. Done by equation. Woo! Rainbow activation line setting. 24 signatures on seconds per line. Opens all calculation setting, direct system, and position locations. All right. Tracker centers, correlations, high center interference, coloration, high position location, triangulation, reset position, all of those location line settings. 24 line centers of 5 provision locations, heart direction of time sequence, and a new crop circle, new division line centers, new earth line rotation interference, astro travels, astro connection, astro projections through rainbow set and division location. Done by equation. Okay. Yep. Changing factor. Yep. Coordinates. Yep. Exactly. So that's going to travel setting out. So now it's all set up. Your rainbows are set up in your body frame. Okay. No longer with 12 line rotation. So we got a 24 signature stream and equals lines of 3 zeros. Okay. 3 0 line setting. Okay. Now remember, you always in line communication. 4 is lines. 4's got to go back in line rotation. 3's got to go back in center, and center's got to be at the top location. Okay, that directs save locations. So that takes the 21 lines, 24 line rotations, and 3 set location of line setting location to its system. Travel setting lines of 0, travel location of center interference, and 3, 4, 5 platforms of communication and direction. Now in direct location, we have the dimensional door that locks its signal line communications. That opens all signals in platitude. Stream location, center line operation. Okay. Now in direct line calculation setting, indirect setting, so we open up all calculation of 0 lines, 0 line operation, 0 line surface, triangulation, reset position programs, and highest application of system. Travis calculation line interference. So we open up more panels, more direct locations in line setting into a hub that comes into computer frame, direct line calculation setting, direct system to a dome center that crosses line rotation surface into the actual projections of ground location. Okay. Now this surface is out. 60,000 sets lines of communication right there, right? Travels lines, high center interference, scans the center. Scans the center, opens up platforms, direct and line position, location, and program settings, and walking surface. Its applications. Done by equation. All right. So we got the AstroTurf, the Astro projections, and the Astro Connect line interference, and new grid lines in the matrix extreme location setting. 4 is over 3 and 3 is over pi in set location of 3 triangulation high interference of reset force line, set line interference. The only thing left line in the line interference is set position travels, set position traction into 8 position location of space and time. Done by equation. Okay. So we're going to wait on that signal. Setting tractions is all of a formula. Now, formula sets location of your settings. Direct lines of 1, in position of 2, lines of 3, calculations of lines of 6, backs into 4, 4 central lines of 3, 3 lines is communication of 3 triangulation resets. So it's all about understanding how to really travel through your largest numbers of shapes, guys, more than ever, right? Because the 3-line signature lines is high calculation of double helix and rotation surface, triangulation calculations. So each number in your chakra system is trying to understand the recognition and calculations, which is no longer 12 o'clocking. So it's back and forth line of where it's supposed to be, which is 1 generation stream location, the 24 lines of clock lines, so 48 lines of calculations to a frame line. That's the right location of its window setting, and location of a 72 computer frame. It's location of 144 crystal grid line calculation setting on seconds, on minutes, and hour line interference equals lines of 24 in line position to measure and scale locations of balance. Done by equation. Okay. Setting equation line centers is all about understanding how to adapt the surface location setting direct system and 5 location centers. Now, crossing line calculation setting is block line rotations and set locations on all levels. Okay. Graphing screens, calculation lines of 0. Travel positions out of the equation in position travel settings. Direct lines, X marks the spot. Okay. Calculation high interference, 3-point systems, 1, 2, 3. 3 lines of center, 2, and 3 location. Okay. So you got 1, 2, and 3 lines in directions. All right. Now, set lines of communication comes into 1, 2, 3, and 4 in line rotation. Direct line calculations across the stream. 1 in position of 2, in position of 3, and positions of 4. Okay, so that calculates as 4 lines of zeros on top location of space. Changing line crosses lines, 4 to see stream interference. 4 line communications, 4 line division locations, in line calculation setting, 4 lines, calculation 1x d,000 line interference of 9 lines, but 9 lines in the center, 9 lines in the center, 9 lines in the center. 6 in line communication, 9 in position, center line operation of yin and yang, process correlating setting, ground lines, shift lines, operation server location system in a new ground operation line set location of space command. Done by equation. Very complicated stuff. Okay, but you have to really understand how you use the energy graph location settings. Really understand how to put all calculation. It's not just the clocking, guys. It's not just the colors. It's reframing you guys into a 1 generation stream, into string theory. String theory opens up all calculation setting and syncrasies, and that puts you in a platitude and interference locations back where you're supposed to be, which is a 24 clocking system. Okay, but it's all set up through its energy graph line setting and direct signal location of your system of space command center. Operation of 6, 9, and 12. Okay. So understanding track location, that's going to surface out. We don't need that anymore. We're going to go in the outside line directions, but this time it's only going to be on 13 settings. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 travels lines of higher self, 13 travel location of center, and 13 rotates the surface location of ground lines, equal location setting. Box line, triangulations, box line, rotation surface. Now, directing lines are going to next 2,000 line, routers and routers, crossing lines, laser line interference, travel calculation, triangulation, resets position programs. Lacing line, set the position travel calculations, center locations, brings in the sun, brings in the moon, rotates the surface, changing the height, center location, and travel setting, position, operation. Directing calculation line interference is zero line, ground lines, operation line calculation, setting, and position location of space command. Directing correlations is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 17, 24. Subposition traction. Done by equation. All right, so that's line communication. All line calculation Mother Earth. Okay, done by equation. So yeah, set a position of travel line, set line interference, and travel communication setting, direct signal, location of your system, and all calculation high interference. Process signals, height, and location system travel settings. All right, so in that line rotation, so we're going to weight that on signal, coming in new ground line. The operation surface now we got to change the cotons. Cyclones come in. Now, cyclone location line center, galaxy line shift. This is a lot, guys, so you have to pay attention. Correlation lines of zero lines, 2 0 lines of triangulation of 3 line position location, high center interference, and dynamic core line center. To correlate settings, position location, travel lines. That's 8 position of the center, 8 position location of operation, 8 location of 2 panel stream locations. Now, it 8 lines of 4, travels lines of 3, travel lines of 6, crosses line interference, back and center. Direct location, sun comes in, rotates the routers and routers, line interference of travel communication, directing signals. Now that calculates line interference. X2000 comes in line rotation center. Okay, travels right through the center position. Okay, sets correlations of telepads, launch pad, line stream into line communications and 2 line centers and signature positions or programs. Directing line communication to setting to its operation surface. Now we come into 2 panels, stream location setting, energetic tube line calculation setting. So we process the correlation setting in new bodies of water in line calculation standard clock lines of 4/3 and 7 position of travel. Directing calculation high interference, direct signals in line communications into a vortex line setting in line connections of tethers in line center location electrical line infusion and direct signal location of setting and direction. Okay? Done by equation. There's a pyramid, right? So the 24 clocking pyramid is now in sequence location of setting and direct signal balance. Okay, 8 through lines, 8 through communication, 8 through grounds, right? So the routers and routers comes into 8 lines of center. It opens all communication to the system. Another panel communication setting, another stream. Done by equation, right? It's all set up. That's also going to wait on signal and line rotation. Okay, setting these things up, guys, is really to understand how this all works in provision, right? Takes a lot of work because you have to really center everything back and all over again to 24 clocking, 24 location, 24 activation, 24 division, 24 rainbow, 24 color, 24 division, 24 sector, 24 vector, 24 quad, and 24th of space, and 24th of time, and direct location. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Boom. Bang. Done. All right. All right. So 12 signature lines of 24 line streams. Okay. Now the 25 line interference, because we add 1 line provision, so 1 box line, triangulation high interference, Fibonacci line swirl, position locations, 2 solve gender stream location, high center, 5 lines of 6, 7, and 8 line rotation surface in center rotation. So splits the lines of 2, splits the lines of 4, splits the lines of 2, splits the lines of 4, and direct center location of panels. Now in that direct location is 24 clocking. Center correlations, 2 tracks, 3 tracks, 4 tracks, 5 tracks, 6, 7, and 8 line rotations surface and triangulation. Now, directing line calculation setting, 12 lines of high center interference, right? 12 equals lines of 12, line calculation setting, all directions of 4, 4, 4, direct line calculation setting, 4 direct signals, 4 track locations, and 1 line provision. Center line rotation service, triangulation high center interference, 24 calculation, 24 line interference, line connection of 12, line center location of 6, line position of 8, 8 line center line interference, into a calculation setting, into a solar sail, and direct signal and set location. Da, 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 da. So, trying to understand this, it's still complicated, but there's 12 signature streamlines now, okay? 12 signature streamlines in a 24 clockings of 12 division. It's all set up, right? Through space and time. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. All right, center position of track lines. That's going to take out of the equation. See how that's set? That's a location center interference. A 12 line provision location equal lines of 24. Okay, so we're no longer in the 12 line. We're center position of 24. Line communications of all levels of the atmosphere line stream. Flux fast communication of 3-point systems. 1, 2, 3, and 4 line generation stream location. Now, in that 24, we change the routers and routers, calculation of 2 lines and 3 lines, and sublocation of new line circles and 9 line interference, travel position location sitting in a 24 walking surface and sublocation. Okay, in that location, the sun comes in, routers and routers, line position of these track lines, opens all calculation center and interference and track locations. Walking signal, rainbow stream. There's the rainbow, 24 rainbow line calculation, setting and direct signal location of your system. Okay, done by equation. Okay. So perimeters and parameters and line stream locations, all levels, and how you set these things up through perimeters. Puts position location in your settings and walking surface, and again in a 3-line waving line rotation in a telepad, launch pad, line center, line rotation, center line communication setting, and direct signal set location. Okay, done by equation. All right. And that's going to surface out. That's going to position locations in 1 line in position of 2. Track to its correlation setting. 1 equals lines of 2, equal lines of 2, lines of 4, 4 lines of 12, sets lines of 12 line rotation interference. 12 lines of indication, 12 lines of center, 12 lines of grounds, and 12 lines of surface, and 12 lines of position. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and position locations of 12 line, the center line conditions of 8. Triangulation of high center. T-line rotation surface triangulation. All right, that direct line calculation is a pi. Pi is a 24 signatures now set up. Okay, set positions. You open up the signals, open up the centers, opens up the panels, opens up the operation line, magnetic line interference, and 4-line rotation. Triangulation of 3 sets of programs, the set location. Okay. Now, as we come into that, we come into 2 panels that holds the high calculations of an energy grid that is 2 lines of high lines of 2 track locations and 2 line division. That's 4 panels and 1 signature stream location. Okay, that holds the signal. So that modifies the center, changes routers and routers, line calculation setting a 24 platform and line rotation to a bubble that center lines its correlation setting and direct signal to a space line division location to a system of vectors, calculates high interference of vectors of pi position of traction. Okay, done by equation. That's set up. So everything I set up is set up for locations for a 24 line, the first generation stream locations. So taking these things out is all levels of getting rid of all line communication of density streams, directing line position of panels. It's all calculated and modified when you come into your location setting directions. All right, so you get a 24 clocking, 0 lines of seconds, minutes, equal lines of minutes, and the hours stay on top. Hours correlating center, like 24 line setting, 24 division. So you got 3 lines of panels, 2 lines of travels, 4 lines of division, 4 lines of rotation, 2 lines of calculation, 2 lines of center, and 4 lines of traction. Okay. Now in that line rotation, center lines is calculation. You do the weaving line rotation surface into correlation. Lacing lines 24, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 17, 24. 24 walking system, travels calculations. Changes space anomaly, directing line calculation of past, present, and future. Directing line correlation setting into polarities. 24, 24, 24. Done. Okay? That's it. We're done. So hopefully you guys get a better understanding how this all works now. We set up the communication of polarities are now at 24 clock line. Back where it's supposed to be. Back where it's always been in line communications. My adaptation of surface is going to be high traveling now. Faster than you can say I. I calculation line interference and teleportation pads, weaving and all calculation interference, code of conduct, communication streamlines, directing lines of panels, correlation setting, your higher self, your connection, your avatar, and GOD, geometric operation location settings, and track location to a system. Geographical line calculations, your AI maps, sequence location of stargates, star maps, and star panels. Direct location of your settings and all will send a magnetic highway information setting to data communications into cubical squares. Now the cubical square line and line interference is going to change position of traction. Directing the line set locations is all levels of the cubical line position, which is a data link. You have a data link square that recognizes the correlation setting, the defaults channels that opens up as some keys, and they put you into line calculations of 24 enabled setting. The 24 enabled setting is now set up in a clock lines of a 24 set location. It's all done through equation now. Okay, that's it. It's all done. See you in 5. Adios.